Well, hello and welcome once again. This particular video is Think and Do questions for the Think and Do series that I've been working on. Please do check out the other videos on that playlist and the other videos that I have on my channel. If you're new to the channel for the first time, please do also leave a like and subscribe. That would help me out a ton. All these questions that we're doing are Edexcel questions, Pearson's questions from the last few years, and they're all on the new specifications, so they're all designed to test your thinking. I picked these questions out because they are particularly testy, so hopefully if you're revising or looking forward to revising next year, these will help you out with your thinking and your work in preparation for those. These questions easily findable on the net. Okay, so this particular section of work is on handling data. And so what we're looking at here is this particular question is talking about trays of plants, given fertilizer and not given fertilizer. It's asking you to compare and contrast two items of data. This set of here was given with the fertilizer and this set here was without the fertilizer. What's nice about this particular question is it sort of prompts you into how to compare these two pieces of data, because it's asking you to compare the distributions down here. Always when you're comparing distributions, make some comments about the quartiles, make some comments about the interquartile range, make some comments about the range, make some comments about the median. That's kind of a straw poll of what you would do normally to get all the marks. So we're going to focus in on these areas and try to make sure that we get all the marks that we need. First of all though, we're going to sort of look at this and set it out in the same way to this. So we're looking at the smallest value first of all, and smallest value being 22, very easy to see. Largest, again, easy to see, 72. The median here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces of data. To find the median in a piece of data, you always add 1 to the number of data that you have, so 16 in this case, and divide by 2, so that's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The median will be 47. So I'll just add once again, add up the total number of data, whatever that is, add 1 to it and divide by 2, and whatever that value is will give you where the median occurs. So this is 8 in this case, the 8th value is 47 once they're listed in order, of course. The upper quartile, similar way, you do 16, because it's 15 piece of data, so 16, 15 plus 1, and then divide by 4, so you're looking for the 4th piece of data, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the lower quartile. You can see there's 3 bits of data there and 3 bits of data there, so that's splitting the first half into 2. And then the other upper quartile would be 3 quarters through the data, so 3 lots out of 4, 12, the 12th piece of data. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is the upper quartile, and again, splitting it, the upper half, into 2 as well. So this would be the upper quartile, that's the lower quartile. So it's very easy to do that. Once you get used to it, you'll be able to do that quite confidently, I'm hoping, and it will help you out a ton. We're now going to compare the IQRs for each one. So the IQR will be 56 take away 35, that's going to be 21. The IQR down here is also the same, you can see that. 47 take away 26, that's also 21. But what's interesting about the data that's been not given fertilizer, the smallest value is lower, the median is lower, so 44 against 47, and the largest value is also lower, 64 against 72. So when it's asking you to compare distributions, you will need to say median with fertilizer higher, so state a fact, that has to be right. IQR same, that's a fact, it's true. And then talk about the range, I think. So range here would be the largest value take away the smallest value. So the range here for the not given fertilizer value, so I'm going to write that up here, will be 64 take away 18. So those that were not given fertilizer is going to be 46, and then the range up here, so again the largest value 72 take away the smallest value 22 is 50. So again the range is higher for with fertilizer. So 3 facts, all the working out, hopefully will get you the 4 marks. Very straightforward. Histograms, deadly histograms. People get thrown by histograms quite a lot, but they are relatively straightforward if you know what you're doing. All the time just focusing on area, that's the key thing. With frequency density diagrams or histograms, just focus on area and you will absolutely be not having a problem with it at all. You will really just fly through these questions, and they're really easy if you just think about those things. So we always know that the frequency density is the frequency divided by the class width. So 4 divided by 5 here is how we got the 0.8. For each thing then we need to work out the area of each one to get the frequency. So in this case, it's between 5 and 15, so it's 10 wide, and it's 0.4 high, so that's going to be 4. So I'll write that in here. I hope you can see that. So 4. Might write it underneath just in case you can't see it. This is 4 in the beginning here. This is 15 to 25, so that's 10 wide and 0.6, so again that's 6. This here is going to be 25 to 30, so that's 5 wide, and then times the 1, so that's 5. And then this is 20 wide, and it's 20 wide with 0.2, so 20 times 0.2, that's 4. So it's going to be 4, 4, 6, 5, and then 4 down here. So all those calculations, really easy to do, just focus on area. Now, I'm going to leave that there because the next question, next half of the question involves looking back at this. So it's a bit of a pain, so I'll just get that for you real quick. So it says here, in this question here, find an estimate of the lower quartile of the times taken to finish the puzzle. So that's the second half of this question. So I'm just going to flick this over so you see it. So first of all, how much data do we have? We've got, how many students do we have? So we've got 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 6, 14, 14 plus 5 is 19, 19 plus 4, 23. Just like the previous question, to work out the lower quartile, we do 23 plus 1, that's 24, and divide by 4, that's 6. So we're looking for the 6th value, the 6th person. That person will represent the lower quartile, whoever it is. Now we know there's 4 pieces of data, 4 people in this section here, and we know there's 4 people in that data here. So halfway through this data, halfway through, this represents 2 people, and that represents 2 people. So the first 6 people would be represented by this rectangle here and this little rectangle there. Where does it hit the bottom? It hits the bottom here around 10. So the lower quartile will be that 10. Explanation of that is what you'd need to get all the 2 marks for that particular section. So I will just show that I've done 24 divided by 6, 24 divided by 4 to get the 6th value. So that I've shown the examiner that I'm looking at the 6th value. Question 3 down here, Steph's weight, kilograms, 2x plus 9, and Carl's weight is 4x minus 7. Write an expression for the mean. Very straightforward. So 2x plus 9, add them up, divide by the number of things that you have. It's expressions, but you can still do it. 4x plus 6, 2x is 6x, 9 minus 7 is 2, positive 2, and divide that by 2, you get 3x plus 1. So that's the mean, 3x plus 1. Really quite straightforward, not a problem. This next question here, working out the mean from a frequency density diagram, or in this case, grouped intervals. Standard fare for GCSE, absolutely something you should be confident about doing. To work out an estimate of the mean on these, which is what we're going to be asked to do, I suspect, in the second half of the question or later on, you would obviously be in the midpoints. Here it's just asking you to draw a histogram. So again, just focusing in on that frequency density, 15 divided by the class width. So 15 divided by 5 is going to be 3. So how you choose your scale here is important. So I'm going to use the big squares here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will be 3 across here. So ideally you would use a ruler, but because of the size of this, it's going to be difficult for me to show you that at the same time. But let's see if I can make that look a bit nicer for you. So yeah, try and get that looking a bit more so you can see what I'm doing. Let's try and do the best I can and then shade it in. And then we've got 17 divided by 5 for the next section. So 17 divided by 5, again, you would need to work out what that is. Obviously, it's going to be 3 and a bit. So it's 3.4. So again, up here. And then we need to be careful, it goes between 5 and 10. So it's going to be, oh, I've made a mistake, haven't I? Because that's going to be between 5 and 10. So I need to go a bit further than that. So sorry, that first bar was slightly wrong, so I'll just do that again. Here we go. It's a bit better. Shows we can recover it. So that will be 3.2, 3.4 up here. Okay, so that's 3.4. That's quite hard to do in this particular graph paper, you can't see the pen very easily. So again, that's going to be the second bar. So this is the first bar. Okay, so I hope you see that okay. And then the next one, 10 divided by 10, so that's going to be 1. So again, that's going to be over here. Okay, and then you've got 6 divided by 10, so that's 0.6. So here. And then you've got 2 divided by 20, so that's going to be 0.1. This is right down here. Okay, so quite flat. So it's up here. I might look a bit better. If I had time, I'd colour it, but I haven't got time. So that one. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that hopefully will get you all the marks that you need. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. That is to label this particular bar frequency density, otherwise you won't get all the marks. Okay. The next question, similar. So it's the second half of that question we just saw. So it's talking about the women travelling to work, and it says find an expression in terms of X, or total number of women represented by the histogram. It says X women travel between 10 and 20 miles to work. So this is 10 wide. So we know the area of this is going to be X. So what times X, what times X makes, what times 10 makes X? Well, it's X divided by 10, 0.1X. So I know that's got to be 0.1X in order for this to be X. That had to be 0.1X. And then once I've worked that out, I can then look at the bars and start to understand how all the other bars work. Because if that's 0.1X, that has to be 0.2X, that has to be 0.3X, that has to be 0.4X. So all of those are easy to work out once you get that little bit of thinking done. It's asking you for the total number of women, so again we're going to work out the area of each one. So this is 5 times 0.4, so that's 2x, this first one. This one here will be 5 times 0.28, so 5 times 0.28. We're going to work that out. So that's 1.4x. This was x itself. The next one, this one here will be 10 times 0.4, so that's 4x, and then 20 times 0.1, which is going to be 2x, and that is going to make, so we're going to have all that added together, aren't we? So that is going to make all those things added together. So 2.1.4. I've gone wrong somewhere. Where have I gone wrong? 10 times 0.4. 10 times 0.04. Yes, sorry, that's 0.4x. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be 0.4x here, and that's going to be 2x there. So 0.04 and 0.01 times 20. So 0.01 times 20. That's 0.2 at the end as well. Yeah, so you've got to be careful with these two because they're both very small. So this is 0.01 here, and this is 0.04 here. So 0.04 times the 10 is 0.4, and 20 times the 0.01 is 0.2. So I was just checking that there. So we've got 2x plus 1.4 plus that one plus these two. That's going to make an expression. So it's 3x plus 1.8x plus the 0.2x at the end there. You can see is going to add to 2, so 5x is hopefully what you get. So that should be relatively straightforward to do. So again, something quite important here all the way through that you've got to do. So just important that you've got to add those things up as you go. Right, next question again. Here we go. So this is the question I was talking about earlier, so estimating the mean. So again, standard fare, we need the midpoints for each one times by the frequencies. These days they don't put extra columns in for you, but you might want to add a column in just to sort of show that you've made that calculation. So, so the frequency times the midpoint is what you'd be writing in here. So for each one you can sort of construct that in. So 8 times 5 is 40, 15 times 12.5. So you're going to work that out real quick. So that's 187.5, 11 times 17.5, and that's 192.5, and then 10 times 25 is 250, and then, oops, and then 6 times 40 is 240. Okay, so we've got all those things added up. You add them all up, add those things all up and divide by the total number of frequencies you got. When you add all these up, you'll get 50. So we're going to add up these frequencies here. So 250 plus 192.5 plus 187.5 plus 40. That's 910. And then you do 910 divided by 50. And that will give you 18.2 hours. Then it's asking you to do a frequency density diagram, histogram. So again, you're going to do frequency divided by the class width. So 8 divided by 10, 0.8. Where you choose to do all those is important. So I'm going to have that as 1, 2, 3. So 0.8 will be here. Take a bit more care now about where I draw these. Just don't want to make a mistake. So that's the first one here. And then next one, 15 divided by 5 is 3. So that's 3 here. Oh my goodness, this is just really hard when you're trying to do it on this thing here. So yeah, try and get this right. Next one is going to be 11 divided by 5. So 11 divided by 5. Just tap in the calculator to find out what that is. That's 2.2. So 2.2 is here. Just double checking again. Come on, pen. Thank you. And then put that in there. Okay, that. And then 10 divided by 10. That's going to be 1. And then 6 divided by 20, and then you would need to, no, it's 0.3. And that's that one. And then just add in that you've got frequency density. And then that's your job, done, all done. Excellent. Right, next one. Write down the class interval that contains the median error. So again, you want to work out the median group frequency slightly different to earlier. You work out how many things you've got. So if you add them all up, you work it out quite quickly. It's 35. And so you add 1 to that, 36. 36 divided by 2 is 18. You're looking for the 18th person, the 18th value. Growth of mold, okay, 18th value. So 7 plus 4 is 18, sorry, 7 plus 4 is 11, and 11 plus 9 is 20, so the 18th value will occur in here somewhere. So the interval that contains the median would be this one. That's really straightforward. And then this estimate of the mean again, so similar to earlier, you do another column with frequency times the midpoint. So you just need to calculate that through. So 4 times 2.5, 7 times 7.5, and so on. So that's going to be 10, 52.5, 102.5. I worked these out earlier before you think I'm some sort of maths genius. And then 262.5. And then you add these up to get the total, and then divide that by the 35. So I'm going to use a calculator to work those out. Okay, so it's 875 divided by 2, so it's 437.5 divided by 5. Sorry, 35 rather. And that will give you the estimate of the mean, and it's 12.5 centimeters squared. So again, just a straightforward, do you know how to work out the mean of a frequency density situation or a mixed group interval situation? If you revise that well, it's worth a lot of marks. So it usually does come up, but you know, you just need to know your stuff really. So this one here, asking students what books they're buying. The interesting thing about this is that it's a bar chart with broken bars, so you don't know whether data is recorded. It's giving you a band for each one, 0 to 4, 5 to 9 and so on. The percentage of these students who bought 20 or more books, first of all, will be this percentage here, so that's 2 students in that column, but out of the total of 40, and you want it as a percentage, so you've got to do 2/40ths of 100. Of course, this was in the non-calculator exam, so you're doing 200 divided by 40, or 20 divided by 4 in other words, so it will be 5% really quickly. And then this one here, show that an estimate for the mean number of books bought is 9.5, you must show your working. So again, midpoints, just like earlier, so you're doing midpoint, this one is 2 times halfway through, that box will be 13, so 2 times 13, that's 13 high, sorry, showing on screen, that's 13 high, halfway through the box. 2 times 13, then it'll be 7 times halfway through, that box there's 8, so that's 7 times 8, and then 12 times 13, and then 17 times 6, and then 22 times 2. And then when you've added all those up, you need to divide by the total number of things that you had. There were 40 people being asked about on that list. So I'm just showing all the working, but you're going to have to be just carefully through all those things that you've got. Did I say 13? It's 11, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah, 11. Double checking as I go. Good I did. So yeah, 2 times 11. So that's 22, 56, 13 times 12 will be 156, 17 times 6 is 102, and 22 times 2 is 44. So all that divide by 40. So I'm going to get my calculator, add them all up, and divide by 40. So 156, 102 plus 44, and then divide by 40. And that's going to give you 9.5, which is what it asks you to show. So we're there. Okay, I think there's one more question. No, 2 more questions. No, 1 more question to go. Okay, this is the very last question now. So this is a sort of test and learn question really again. This woman, Tina's going on a cycling holiday. For the first 5 days, Tina cycled a mean distance of 55. So how long has she travelled? If she's cycling 55 kilometres per day for 5 days, that's the key start of this problem. So she's done 275 miles total so far. She then cycles another 50, so 275 plus another 50 is 325 miles. And then we want to work out the mean for all 6 days. So 325 divided by 6, how many miles is that? So assuming I hadn't got a calculator, 6 into 32 goes 5 with 2 remainder, 6 into 25 goes 4 with 1 remainder, 6 into 10 will go once with 4 remainder, and 6 into 40 will go 6, and that will be a repeating decimal, so 54.16. So 54.2 approximately miles is her mean. But Andy's saying that her mean distance is 52.5. So is Andy correct? No, he's not, because it's 54.16. So once you show what you've done, and they have shown all the working, you can get there quite quickly and you get your 4 marks. Okay, that is the end of the handling data think and do questions. Important things to remember: ruler, definitely. You can see I had some issues with that. And make sure also you know relatively how to use a calculator and when not to use a calculator also. Just be cautious about some of those things that you need to learn, like frequency density being the frequency divided by the class width, and also about working out a mean or estimating a mean when you've got a grouped frequency table. That's also very important. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you are new to the channel, please do leave a like and subscribe. That would help me out a ton. I hope for now you have a really good rest of the day. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.